What's the difference between interested in and interesting? This is a very common mistake that I hear from my students, but it's a very noticeable mistake. And these are two must-know expressions that you need to have in your vocabulary. So in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to use these confidently. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforrestenglish.com, and this channel is dedicated to helping you sound like a fluent, confident, natural English speaker. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now, let's dive in with this video. In this video, you're going to learn the difference between interested in and interesting. Let's start with interesting. Interesting with ing, interesting. Interesting is an adjective. Of course, we use it to describe a person, a place, or an event, an activity. We use it to describe a something. For example, I could say, that conference was interesting. That conference was interesting. Now notice here, interesting is our adjective, so it doesn't change. It's always going to be in that ing form. It's our verb that's of course conjugated with the subject and the time reference. So in this case, what's our verb? Of course, it's the verb to be. And here it's being conjugated in the past, was, and of course with our subject, the conference, it. It was really interesting. Now, interesting as an adjective is a positive adjective. It has a positive meaning, and you can think of it as either enjoyable or, for a person, more like likable. So let's look at that with a person. It's commonly used to describe people. So I could say, Jerry's really interesting. So imagine Jerry's my new coworker, and I'm saying, yeah, Jerry's really interesting. So that's a positive description. It's like saying he's enjoyable to be around or he's a likable person. He's interesting. So what's our verb here? To be. Jerry is, because it's just a fact about him, Jerry's really interesting. Now let's look at to be interested in. So notice this is a to be expression. To be interested in. Now here, interested doesn't change. It's always interested. It's the verb to be that changes. It changes with the time reference and the subject. Now you can be interested in something, in, with our noun, okay? In something. Or you can be interested in doing something. So here, if you're using this with a verb, you need to have the gerund form because in is a preposition and we always use gerunds after prepositions. Now, when you're interested in something or interested in doing something, it means you have a desire for that or to do that, depending if it's a noun or a verb. But there's a desire. So it isn't the same meaning as interesting as an adjective, which means enjoyable or likable. So let's look at an example sentence. I'm interested in learning more about your course. I'm interested, so with the verb to be, I'm interested in learning, our gerund. I'm interested in learning more about your course. So I have a desire to learn about your course. I'm interested in learning more about your course. Now here, I could also just take the noun and I could simply say, I'm interested in your course. I'm interested in your course. Could you tell me more? So remember those two different structures for forming this. Another example, Susan's interested in becoming a lawyer. Susan's interested in becoming a lawyer. Susan is, Susan's as a contraction. Susan's interested in becoming, our verb in ing, a lawyer. So she has a desire to do this. Now, as a noun, maybe I could say something like, Susan's interested in the law. the law profession, so that would be a something. Now here's the mistake that I hear students make a lot. They say, I'm interesting, I'm interesting, when in fact they want to say, I'm interested, I'm interested. Because I could say, who wants to learn more about my course? And then to show your desire to learn more about your course, you would say, I'm interested. I'm interested. Now here it's just the short form. You don't have to say in learning more about your course because the context is established. So you could simply reply back and say, I'm interested, period. And you'll see that a lot from native speakers. So students, they try to do this, but instead they make that one fatal mistake. They change the ED for ing, and instead they say, I'm interesting, which is like me making a statement that I'm an enjoyable person. I'm a likable person. You should like spending time with me because I'm interesting. So it's actually quite a comical mistake. I always chuckle when I hear students do this because the meaning is very different. So make sure you watch out for that mistake, and there's a huge difference between the ED and ing with these two expressions. So remember, interesting is an adjective. To be interested in something or doing something is to express desire. So now it's your turn to practice. I want you to leave some comments. Why don't you try 2 sentences with interesting, so you can describe 2 different things as interesting, change the verb tense as well to get some practice. And also 2 sentences with interested in, make sure one of them is with something and one of them is with doing something, our gerund form. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. Now, before you go, make sure you head on over to my website, jforrestenglish.com, and download your free speaking guide. In this guide, I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. And until next time, happy studying! Alright, well, I'm so glad you're interested in learning English with me and you're interested in improving your English with me, and I certainly hope you find my videos interesting. That's definitely my desire, and I can't wait to see you in my next interesting video. I hope you're interested in it. Bye!